I've been trying to make progress on bigger projects lately, but every time I come into the workshop, I see all these little unfinished tasks. None of them are going to take very long, but that's exactly why they've been sitting here for months. Today, we're clearing out the backlog. Hey, welcome back. Or if you're new here, my name is Howie, and this is a series called Too Many Projects, where I try to tackle my ever growing list of projects, my overwhelmingly long list of projects. Some of these projects are going to get finished, and some of them are just going to be moved a little bit closer to that finish line. So let me show you what we're working with. Here's all my big projects that I'm working on. Here is a list of tasks or honeydews to-do list stuff. But right now I'm working on a market, actually 2 markets for the same day. So this is my main focus right now. I've got some stuff done, and then some stuff half done, and then some stuff that needs to get done. So I'm working with limited real estate on these markets. I'm going to have one table at one market, and then if I'm lucky at the other market, I'll have 2 tables. So what's taking up the most real estate right now are these big charcuterie boards and these cutting boards. Today, I'm going to make something that'll remedy that. This is just one of those projects that's been floating in my head for months, like how am I going to display all these boards and everything. So it's nothing like too complicated, nothing extravagant. It's just some scrap oak that I had, and then I went and bought some dowels today. And these measurements are completely arbitrary. I just figured in my brain that they would work. So once these dry up, I'm going to put these cross members in, and then we'll test out some boards and see if they fit. Well, I've got everything laid out. I just want to talk about a few items, go in depth a little bit on some of them. So everybody knows what a cutting board is, right? But I haven't seen a whole lot of these small boards. I'm calling them garnish boards. They're basically just mini cutting boards for cutting up limes and lemons or oranges, whatever you prefer to put in your cocktails. We keep one at our little bar in the house. So it's a dedicated garnish board, and these look real nice. Some of these are teak and cherry. This is teak and cherry in a different orientation. These are nice and beefy boys. Well, these are more traditional. And these are just some little ring or trinket boxes for your rings or trinkets. And this is just some reclaimed wood from a dresser I found on the side of the road. I made a little router template, and then zip, zap, zop, box. I think these will do pretty well. I think they're pretty cool, real simple to make. Kind of goes with my creepy vibe. These are just charcuterie boards or serving trays, whatever you want to call them. Really easy. Now this is something I am so proud of. This took me a long time to develop. It's a skull tray. So basically, it's a valet tray for your keys and wallet and stuff like that. I want to tell you a little bit more of how I developed it though. They started off as all wood. So this was a big one that I made. And this is mine. I actually use this on my nightstand. It's just a piece of reclaimed wood and then a wooden, rim. But as you can see, the wood layers, it looks a little unfinished, especially with plywood. It has gaps in it. I was taking router templates that I was hand drawing and making and then cutting out. And then, that's how I was batching them out. And they worked for a little while, but the router templates, they tended to break and everything. So I thought, how do I elevate this idea? They already were selling, but they were very labor intensive. They're all hand painted. They're routing. I would break this thin wood would blow out all the time, and it was just kind of frustrating. But I love making them because I think they're super cool and unique. So I recently got a 3D printer, and I thought, what if I designed the rim in 3D and printed it out and matte black, which is very reminiscent of this, and still did the hand painting, put my stamp on there. And I did want to elevate it with these screws. I think it looks very industrial with the screws. And I was like, man, that's cool. That's exactly what this was. I did have to scale it down because my printer isn't this big. It's this big. I thought, man, you know what I really, really like is the futuristic vibe of Blade Runner. Everything was kind of clear and latexy. So I thought, oh, clear filament would look dope. And you can't really see, but I made it honeycomb on the inside so you can sort of see the structure. That was my intent. And I was like, oh man, that's so cool. How do I make it even better? And I thought, boom, I was searching high and low for like an amber color. I really wanted something a little bit more yellow, but this is the closest thing, and I'm super happy with the way this thing looks. This one is actually reclaimed wood too. It's a George Dickel box. You can't really see the Dickel logo maybe, but it's an old whiskey box that I repurposed. So I think that'll be super cool. People will love that. And then, of course, I've got the cherry, the same stuff that all the cutting boards and stuff are made out of. So I got a wide assortment of different models and stuff. I know you see me on here making a lot of wooden things, doing a lot of woodworking, but a lot of you might not know that I make custom knives. So this is a custom stainless chef's knife with some really cool dyed burl wood. I do all my chef's knives custom. I don't make a lot of them to sell, but this is what I do have usually a lot of. It's my everyday carry knives. So this is my Astaroth model. A lot of my knives are named after demons. So that one's pretty cool. It's got a little wrap on there. This one's more of a simplified wrap. And then they all come with sheaths. Here's a little blue one. So that's usually like my main draw to the table is all the knives. I get all the dudes. All the wives are like, hey, go look at that guy. He's got some dude stuff. And that usually draws people in. And, and then they get to play with some cool stuff. Then I hit them with the cheap stuff because they usually can't afford it. And then here's what I usually saw a lot of is just some evil koozies. I just bought some different colors. That's actually on my to-do list is to finish screen printing the koozies. Usually when I sell my knives, they come with a sheath and a belt clip. And I usually just buy these at Tandy Leather and slap them on there. But I really don't love buying them. They're like $4 a piece, so they're kind of pricey. And what I really want is the clip to be centered. I don't like it to be offset because the knife tends to slide a little forward of the weight. What I did was design a 3D model of a clip that is kind of offset in the middle here. It still bolts up to the same holes, but it's offset. Let me show you real quick. All right, I'm pretty new to Fusion 360. I just started learning, and I figured the best way to learn was to start with these projects that I need versus tutorials or whatever. So basically, I started off mimicking the same design because I do like the belt clip part. And then I just wanted to have an offset so that it still bolts up to the same holes, but off to the side. So I'm going to print these out as soon as I can. My 3D printer is currently occupied with another project. I'll show you that. Here is what is currently on my 3D printer, and it's taking freaking 90,000 years to print. No, it's actually 29 hours is the real-time print. That's crazy, and it hasn't failed, so that's amazing. What is it? No, it's not a volcano. It is a spoked rim for your trash can, aka swangers, aka elbows, aka we're in Houston and people slab out their trash cans. I only had enough for black, one in black and one in clear. That's okay. They're both PLA, and I've got some primer and gold paint, so they'll look matchy in the end. But for now, they're tacky. I don't know. What am I saying? So while we wait for the glue to dry on that, I want to tackle one of my other items on the to-do list. So let's do hang the ram. What? Yeah, I think that's a ram. I don't know. What is it? You guys tell me. It came with the house. The previous owners were hunters, and this was on the wall. As you can see, there's cabinets everywhere, and I don't have very much wall space. So I think the only place it will fit is right there. Also, it's just been sitting in the floor for weeks, and I don't want to mess it up and, like, you know, break its ears off or something. About 8. Got these cool little J hooks, and they hold like 60 pounds each or something like that. You just pierce them through the drywall and then hook them. The ram only has one eye hook on the hanger, so I figured one in the middle will be great. Hopefully I don't hit a stud. Ah, shit. Famous last words. Hit a damn stud. Hey, now we get to use a big screw, I guess. Yo, horn dog. Is this desk gonna hold me? Oh, dude. Not even an inch to spare. All right. Can we give him a name? I don't know. Harold, Harry, Horny, Harambe? No, that name's taken. All right, let's mark another one off the list. So much room for activities over here. Are you guys as impatient as I am? I couldn't wait. It's still gluing up, but yeah, that'll work. I just need to throw a coat of shellac on there. I think that'll darken up the wood a little bit so it's not so white. All right, I'm calling that one done. Cutting board display. For the sake of making me feel better. So I'm going to call it quits for today. Not everything got completed, but that's the whole point of this series. It's just a glimpse into my daily workload. The glue's still wet. I'm calling that done, though. That's fine. So I'm going to say, if you got 10 minutes today, just go do something. Go make something. Put a little bit of effort towards that project. You're not going to finish. We're never going to finish. My list is never going to end. Keep going and going and going. This is a marathon, you know, just one bite at a time, right? That's how you eat a marathon. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Thank you for coming along, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Psych. I'll show you the finished product. All right, I put a coat of shellac. I mean, it didn't do much to it. Didn't change it much, but you know, the red oak runners, those look nice. It looks like poplar dowels. I just picked up some dowels. There's a cool knot in this dowel. It looks like a big dookie stain, but it looks good. I think it works well. One thing it made me realize is that I need to fill up this empty space. Need to make more stuff.